Well, hello everyone, Gary here. Been asked by quite a few people to take a look at something a little bit different that hadn't taken a look at for a while, and that was what's going on in this bigger picture out here. And the conclusion you have to come to is there's some super opportunities for the real innovators. It's happened before in lots of other sectors. It's happening here in a major way. And so what we need to do is follow the money. Talk to a number of different people. There's a few quotes here, one from Danny Kleinfelder from Texas A&M talking about what's happening out there. And said, as farmers drop out, existing operations will absorb those acres. The capital costs and management requirements are just too prohibitive for new farmers to come into the industry on a commercial scale. That means the bulk of production will be concentrated in fewer and fewer operations, which is really happening when you think about the number of 30,000 and plus acre operations there are in Canada today. Cornell has the same sort of thing. They see a few very large producers and a large number of small local niche marketers. The medium-sized guys going to become fewer and fewer. And they'll be kind of a transitional group to the people that are becoming large. That came from Cornell. So let's think a little bit. If we're going to innovate, the business of farming is comprised of several enterprises. That is, more than one commodity or variety contributes to the net revenue. These enterprises may compete, complement, or supplement one another depending on the associated requirements of inputs such as capital or land quality. Let's think about that. That's really what it's all about. And so we got to think this through as to what it could mean as we grow. And it looks like you got to grow or go. It's all about your management. It's about knowing your manager, your numbers, and managing that risk, which is very important. So I thought I'd go through the number of decisions, and I ranked them in order, or what I felt was a bit of an order of importance here. And basically choosing the highest ROI crops and the lowest risk mix suitable for each field is first thing you need to do. Look at the fertility. Number two. Number three, you get to choose that optimum seeding window. And as a good friend of mine, Roy Erickson, said, it's not about being the first guy seeding, it's about being the first guy finished seeding. Choosing the crop protectants and timing. Choose harvest process, grain storage and conditioning, a market plan, and a delivery plan. So let's look at what that looks like on a decision tree. We're all looking for the dollars. And it looks like that crop enterprise analysis and marketing plan are two of the most important. And that marketing plan is started more than a year out. There's no reason you aren't forward sales on crops while you're still seeding the first one. If prices are fantastic and the new crop months are roaring away, get after a grain company and take advantage of it. The next one is do that fixed cost checkup. And really that's related to two different things. One is equipment and one is management and labor. Got to know that if we've got the iron, if we're going to take some more dirt on, what we need to do to keep the fixed costs in check. Because if they aren't in check, then things aren't going to look very good. And we need to start to develop our crop enterprise analysis plan by deciding what to seed. Now, the seed is a big piece of it, and we need some history in order to know that. And we need to know the history of the varieties in our things are key. But the biggest one is that seeding date, again, making sure that that equipment matches things to go with it. So that comes out of there. Fertility. Variable rate, if you're going to do it. Biologicals, there's lots of changes happening out there right now, and we need to be on top of it because these things are not all snake oil. I think there's some real opportunities. Secondly, the chemicals. Or thirdly, really, again, back to history, which we know all about that. Timing being very critical, knowing where we're at. And then we end up with kind of a related one. I put this in chemicals and harvest because of not only just the wait time for good environmental reasons, but for if you're desiccating or whatever, that will be related as to grade, harvest to the storage, from the storage to delivery, and then back to the marketing plan. So what are these worth in dollar values? Well, Looks like the plan at the bottom drives the most dollars. Getting that one right helps with everything else. We can change varieties and put some small changes, reasonable changes in there. I'm not saying we don't do it, very important, but the opportunity's there. Thirdly, those dollars you spend on fertility are extraordinarily beneficial and they make big differences, and we all know that. But again, keeping it balanced and following through properly with it. Chemicals, same way. Got problems with fungi or whatever, it makes things really important. So I think that's something you need to think about. And finally, that marketing plan, I can't emphasize that enough. So really, the marketing plan relationship to that crop enterprise plan is critical because you're going to grow what the market wants. And I think that's the key thing about all of this, is that we need to be thinking about the market all the time. That's following the money. So we want to build a culture of learning. And we think that everything about our business is changing at warp speed. And I mean, there's all kinds of great things coming in. I see the use of these small satellites. I see lots of things that are really exciting. So we have to think a little bit outside the box. We're all going to have to do this because, as you know, lentil prices right now aren't what they were. And canola's doing okay, but we have to look around a bit more for it. And the list goes on. So we've got to be thinking outside the box a little bit. Change is happening. This is one of my favorite sayings. This comes from Jack Welch, a former famous CEO of General Electric, and I think this is worth reading several times. Unless an organization is changing on the inside as fast as the industry is changing on the outside, the end is in sight. So with that, it's time for more. Have a great day and safe farming. Thank you very much.